Hey guys, I'm here to show you a tutorial about the garden project pictures and the filters that you can use. So let's go take a look at some of those photos that we have. Um, Let me get to the document first. On MRH data, you'll see it in Photoshop resources. I just put it here. And here's some food images that you can use. So this is kind of going along with what I want you to do, what's on D2L. You take a couple of images like this one, or some of our good items that we have that Chef Rob has prepared for us, and we're going to add different kinds of filters to them. So I'm going to pick this one. I like it. And then my daughter is bothering me. Sorry.
Hi.
I'm not feeling very good. So pardon me while I pop her in the head. I just popped her in the head.
That's not illegal.
It's not. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out this from the image behind it. So to do that, I'm going to go up to my marquee tool. That's probably the easiest way. And I want to be able to see rulers. So I'm going to go up to View and go down to Rulers. This will bring up some rulers on the right and the left. Well, it's supposed to anyway. They're there. And then I can just drag one down to here. Well, and then drag one over to here. Now what this is going to do is chop off the top piece of that chicken right there. I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm going to try both ways and we'll see what looks the best. Other way would be using the pen tool. So now that I have this selected, I go to that crosshairs right there, drag down, holding my shift button so it stays in a circle. Well, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to drag it down like this. And that's going to make it nice and pretty darn close to the shape of that. I don't know if I want to do that though, because I kind of like having that chicken leg sticking up off the plate. So I'm going to deselect that. And I'm going to go back to Mr. Pen Tool. We like the pen tool. Well, you guys know that I like the pen tool anyway. And I can just pick a spot down at the bottom. That's going to be a little bit too much. Yeah, I'm going to have to go in quarters. So I'll go to the quarter, go to the quad here. I can lean that, and then Options select, and make that anchor go in the direction I want. Now I can go back down to here. Wow, even that one might be a little bit too much.
Hey,
well,
the pizza gonna be here?
The reason why I'm going to pick it up, Hannah.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Yeah, guys, guess what we're having for dinner tonight? Carry out pizza.
Pizza
Because
wings!
I'm not feeling good, so I'm going to have some pizza before I go to bed. Daughter loves hot wings, so she's getting the wings. I'll cut that around there, bring that up to this point, and now I can kind of go boom and kind of go around that piece of bread. Then I'll go up to here, select that. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. I don't know if I'd ever want to get rid of these. They're easy to get rid of. If I just grab this, I can put it right back where I got it from. Then go back to my pen tool and continue my merry way. That looks pretty good there. I don't really want to care if I chop off the top of that bread. But like I said, I want to keep my chicken leg. So I'll draw around here. There. Now there's a nice path. Now I'm going to make that into a path. And make that path into a selection, I mean. And then I'm going to invert that selection. So I'm going to filter. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I want to invert the selection. And delete everything else. So I'm going to go to Select, Inverse, and Delete. Kapow. So once I have this done, I can add all kinds of different selections to it. Now, you can probably, I don't know if you heard that or not, but yes, my kids are like yelling at each other and trying to involve me, but I don't feel like getting involved. Now I go to my filter, and I can do all kinds of fun stuff. I can try a dry brush. Ooh, that looks cool. Maybe, definitely not fresco. Yeah, I like dry brush. That looks better. Cutout, that's kind of artsy. Kind of looks neat. I like what it does to the edge of the plate there. Colored pencil, no. No, too blurry. Boring. Now, obviously, some of these are going to work better than others. I mean, there are some, like the stylized has glowing edges. That's like way too funky for us. Well, too funky for me anyway. Some of these other ones will have you do a halftone pattern that doesn't do much good. The chrome, yeah, it just looks like metal. That looks like no. Looks like nothing I would want to eat. Same thing with that glass. Yeah, it kind of looks like you're seeing it through glass, which is kind of cool. You can crank up the distortion, or you can make it relatively smooth, so it's just a little bit. It actually looks kind of cool. And you can change the texture, which is kind of nice. Tiny lens or blocks. Let's see. There's one here that you definitely are going to want to stay away from, and that is the plastic. Where is it? Plastic wrap? Yeah, no. Because we do not want anything to look like we made it with plastic wrap or wrapped it in plastic wrap. So I like cutout or dry brush. I'm going to stick with cutout just because that's how I'm going to roll. So I have to remember that. Cutout. Cutout's what I want. So before I do that, I have to up some things. I'm going to add a couple of different filters on here and change some of my hues. So I go to here, I can adjust my hues, and I'm just going to bump up my greens because these greens, I mean, trust me, I ate this, it was delicious, but these greens look a little washed out. So I'm going to saturate them just a little bit more and change the hue. Well, no, it is not showing up. Okay. Oh, I know what I did. I bet you do too. This will be interesting to see how many people caught what I did wrong. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here. 0. Go back to here. 0. Go back to here. Master. Go back to my layers. Just actually throw this whole saturation layer away. Apple J. That's what we always want to do. Make it a layer that's not locked. That way it's something I can mess with. Good job to you if you figured that out all on your lonesome. Alright. Whoa, nuclear. Okay, so you have to be very touchy with this. You have to be very careful. See, I just moved it just a little bit over after I bounced that hue up. Now I can move my hue back down and that'll help. But you really want to be careful with how much you do. I mean, you can turn it into something on the other end, it looks normal. But the more you come up here, the weirder it's going to look when it gets into that yellow range. So you have to be careful. So I'm just trying to get for a good contrast. And again, I can bounce the saturation down some, but I'm just kind of brightening it up and making it look, a little bit fresher. So your job is to just kind of mess around with this. Now, obviously, if I take my hue and I go up here, look what happens to my apples. Weird. That's my yellows. Okay. Also, you may have noticed that we're RGB. Eventually, this is going to go to CMYK. So let's see what happens if we try that out. Let's go to, let's change it to CMYK and see what happens. Why not? I'm just messing around with it. Wow. A little bit different effect, huh? Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that you can do here to mess around with a picture. Notice how that still doesn't do anything. I wonder why. It's because we haven't messed with this very much. So that's still in greens. You can colorize it, which doesn't do anything that we want. So you get the idea of different things that you can do here. Some other things that we can do. Let's see, let's get our mode back to CMYK. I like that one. We'll make it CMYK before we print for sure. Some of the other adjustments that we can mess with. We can mess around with, instead of hue saturation, we got that going on. Now let's go back to our layer and adjust something different. I don't think I want to posterize, but I definitely want to work on color balance and my channel mixer. Channel mixer, check what happens out. Check out what happens. Check what happens out. Check out what happens when I mess with my greens or my blues. Blues are kind of cool. I can make it a blue plate. My reds are bounced up. I can make it look cold or hot, you know, depending. If I want it to look a little bit warmer, I'll crank this up just a little bit. That looks good. Go back to my layers. Oh wow, I've added another layer mask. How about that? So then, let's go back to adjustments. And I really want to bounce the contrast up a little bit. Just a little bit. Does it need to be brighter? I don't think so. Actually, I think I want to make it darker because remember, I want this color of the plate to come around the edge. So I'll do maybe that. And that's my dog Elvis. He wants to be fed. My daughter doesn't want to feed him right now. If I want to be really mean, I would say something like FOOD to him. Oh, my daughter says she already fed him. Okay, so now let's go back to filter. And remember what that one was? Cutout? Was that it? Was it fresco? Oops. Oh, you know what we did wrong? Check out your layers. You always got to check out your layers. Always, always, always check out your layers. So I want to make sure layer 1 is what I'm adding my cutout to. How many levels do I want? Well, depends on how detailed I want it to look. Obviously, if I make it look only 3, I'm only going to get 3 colors. If I bounce it up to 4, get a couple more colors. Gets deeper and deeper, and I spent all that time on those stupid green beans. So I want to go for the one where I get the most green beans. Now that makes it very cubish. Maybe that. Okay. I'm not going to mess around with these. See which one I like the most. I don't know. You can kind of play around with it and do any kind of filter really that you want. You can try going to the filter gallery and just really messing around with it. Layer filter on top of filters like that. Dark strokes on top of it. Diffuse glow on top of that. Put a glass on top of it. Remember, but we want it to look kind of fresh and vibrant. So something like this, maybe not. Anyway, have fun. Pick a couple of different filters to put on any one photo. So send me one with one filter on it and one with a different filter on it, and explain what you did and what its effects were. And that's going to be your open response. So we don't have to pick 14, you can pick 15, you can pick, you know, whatever, but it needs to be a plate photo. So any of these. And that's it. I'll see you all tomorrow.